Now we want to bring you voices from Evin prison, a notorious dungeon in Tehran where many political prisoners are held by the Islamic Republic of Iran, a prison which has been the site of horrors but also of righteous resistance. Just last month, Evin was bombed by Israel, and the prisoners held in Evin, including the political prisoners, were sent to even worse conditions in prisons across the country. Over these last weeks, there has been intensified repression in Iran, including a leap in executions. For more on how to support the political prisoners in Iran, go to the International Emergency Committee to free Iran's political prisoners. We demand of the Islamic Republic of Iran, free all political prisoners now. We say to the U.S. government, no war on Iran.
On May 19th, 2025, political prisoners in Iran's Evin prison launched a remarkable new online publication, Bamdad Bidar, Awake at Dawn, No to Nooses. This translation from the original Farsi was made by volunteers with the international campaign to free Iran's political prisoners. The title Bamdad Bidar has multiple meanings in Farsi. The word Bamdad, dawn, often signifies a new day. It is also the time that executions are carried out in Iran. These executions are the punctuation point to their cellmates' all-night vigil. The word Bidar means awake, but when used as two words, Bidar, it means no noose. The translation of the title, Awake at Dawn, No to Nooses, aims to convey the richness of the original Farsi.
As the International Emergency Campaign to Free Iran's Political Prisoners wrote, this magazine is a work of art and heart from prisoners inside Evin prison. It is full of the pain and rage of injustice, but also full of humanity and the joy of righteous resistance. Iran leads the world in executions. These are carried out on Tuesdays. And for over 70 weeks, prisoners throughout the prisons of Iran have led No to Execution Tuesday hunger strikes, involving many hundreds, if not thousands, of prisoners. Almost 1,500 executions have been carried out in Iran since the beginning of 2024. No to Execution Tuesdays is a prisoner-led movement that is fiercely calling to the rest of Iranian society and to the people of the world to rise up against such an atrocity. The International Emergency Campaign asks us, as you hear these words, take a moment to reflect on the tremendous difficulties these prisoners have to overcome to transfer their thoughts and emotions to send out over prison walls. It shows their initiative, organization, and a spirit of defiance against injustice of the murderous Iranian regime, but also going against the odds in a determination for a life of the mind, even in captivity.
In the heart of the dark nights of prison, in the silence of solitary confinement, amidst the shuddering of the nooses, and in the anxious yet hopeful gazes of prisoners, there are stories that need to be heard. Bamdad Bidar shares the voices that have been whispered in silence. We speak of the suffering that took place behind locked doors, of the nights when the lights were on but hope was not extinguished, of the silences louder than 1,000 screams. This is not a bid for tears or condolences. This is standing up against oblivion, against execution, against the official narrative. We want to record and honor the names, faces, suffering. These are stories that the official media shuns, but we reveal them like hidden treasure. Bamdad Bidar is an attempt to recount, share, and awaken. We present these pages to prevent dehumanization from becoming normalized. This is a place for storytelling, for awakening, for rethinking the meaning of justice in life and human dignity. Join us on this difficult but necessary journey.
From number 1, in the name of humanity and the pen. It was the first day of July that I was sent to solitary confinement and interrogation at the Ministry of Intelligence, and then transferred to Lacan prison. This was the beginning of my acquaintance with someone I remember as having a kind smile and being exhausted from sleepless nights, with a beautiful tattoo on his hand that read, Iran, I hope you will wake up. He had entered the prison that day, a little earlier than me. I remember his first look and the way he greeted me. His face bore the marks of the sufferings in his life. At that moment, I didn't know what kind of suffering he had endured, but I recognized it as akin to my own.
The Savagery of the Rulers, Part 3, on executions. What happens during those hours of waiting that can overpower even the strongest of men? It's mandatory to have a forensic doctor present at the execution site, not to prevent the death of a human being, as required by the doctor's Hippocratic oath, but to ensure the condemned remain conscious until the very last moment. The condemned are deprived of even sedative drugs before execution so that they can fully experience the moment-by-moment approach of their own death. No creature other than humans is capable of this level of cruelty. In the hands of those in power, people's fear of death became a tool of the rulers to take human life in various ways, so that through intimidation and repression, they could rule longer. This use of intimidation is directed only at the lower classes and the masses of people in a society. Drug cartels engage in the drug trade, but it's the petty drug dealers who get executed. Those who murder entire nations are considered heroes, but those who murder one individual are executed. Those who engage in major economic corruption are rewarded, and the petty thieves are hanged. You tell me, did the hungry person who was executed actually put an end to hundreds of thousands of lives just by signing their name? What about those who signed their names to unjust judicial rulings?
Kharshak prison. In the 6 months that I was in Kharshak prison, there was a woman whose execution was close to being carried out. Sanobar was a 23 or 24-year-old woman whom they accused of killing her husband. He had made his living off selling Sanobar's body. Once, when she resisted, he threw acid on her. In the struggle over the container, acid spilled onto the man's chest, causing his death. None of this evidence was enough to prevent the sentence of retribution from being carried out. Around 1 a.m., there was the piercing sound of hysterical screaming and a scuffle from solitary that grabbed the attention of all of us. No one was able to sleep until afternoon. For years, the sound of those screams rang in my ears.
People are members of one another. They are created from the same roots. When one member is in pain, the other members cannot rest. You, who are unconcerned with the suffering of others, do not deserve to be called a human being. In the judicial system of most countries, the death penalty has either been abolished outright or is a punishment reserved for a few specific crimes. In the Islamic Republic, however, which since its inception has been built on blood, execution has become a method for intimidation and suppression. Under the Islamic Republic of Iran, the death penalty is not just a legal procedure. It has turned into something akin to an ideology, and it criminalizes even nonviolent protest against it. Countless long-term imprisonments are the result of criminalization that ranges from blasphemy, actions against national security, which is Iran's term for any action against the regime, murder, drug offenses, and rape or sodomy. Under the Islamic Republic, Iran has the highest number of executions in the world. The only way to emancipate Iranians is to overthrow this corrupt and dictatorial regime and replace it with something far better.